My name is Detective Maraki. I work on solving cases of wrongdoing in the gaming community, and I'm currently on my way to interview a witness to a supposed video game scam. Good evening, Mr. Hawthorne. Weird last name. I've read in your file that you're a victim of video game scams. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
So who exactly did this to you?
It was a company. It was called MiHoyo.
After doing some background research, I learned that MiHoyo is a privately owned Chinese company valued at over $23 billion due to the successful release of Genshin Impact and later games Honkai Star Rail and Zenless Zone Zero. This company has become synonymous with otaku culture due to the art style of their games being very anime-esque. MiHoyo started a new subsidiary company for the global market called HoYoverse, which is what I will be referring to them as going forward. HoYoverse has become quickly one of the most prominent companies in the video game industry, with their games being played by millions monthly, with some estimates reaching tens of millions of players. In addition, these games have been promoted by everyone, and you simply cannot escape their popularity. However, HoYoverse has faced several controversies as of late regarding its predatory monetization practices. But regardless, HoYoverse is still one of gaming's top companies. To understand what made these games tick for people, I asked my interviewee another question. So what made these games exactly so appealing to you, Mr. Hawthorne?
Well, there's a lot of reasons, so it might take me a bit.
That's fine. After talking with Mr. Hawthorne for a few minutes, I believe I now understand what makes these games so appealing. HoYoverse's games cover a wide variety of genres that easily appeal to casual gamers. Many of their games take a spin on very popular video games and make them easily accessible for anyone who isn't well versed in the video game space. Along with the fact that these games are easy to get into, these games have an appealing art style to many and stand out amongst other games. Furthermore, the production value of HoYoverse's games keeps improving, and due to this, their games are becoming appealing to more and more people. Along with the game's gorgeous visuals, HoYoverse's worlds are vast and expansive, which is due to their live service model, with each new major update adding to their massive worlds. Before the release of Genshin Impact in 2020, many gacha games were similar to visual novels with gameplay sprinkled in, with no massive open worlds and overworld gameplay. Genshin changed all that, and people flocked to it. Genshin Impact's world in particular is huge and only continues to expand with time. Not only is the world huge, but the content is abundant with extensive storylines and quests, with some quest lines taking as long as 6+ hours. There are also domains, which are similar to dungeons, and many bosses to tackle in the open world. This overwhelming amount of content isn't even restricted to Genshin Impact. Although the other games are shorter, they just haven't been around for as long, so only time will tell with those titles how much further content will be added to them. My previous points are invalidated though if you cannot get emotionally invested in these games, but I firmly believe HoYoverse has nailed the emotional connection due to their characters. Many will find it difficult not to get attached due to HoYoverse's excellence in writing likable characters, and with the sheer abundance of them, it will be hard to find one that you don't like. It's shocking how good this sounds on paper, but I know there's more to the story. I've also heard reports of Genshin addiction sweeping the gaming community, with some being unable to quit the game. Nonetheless, I need to learn more to say for sure if there's something fishy going on. So you believe this company scammed you, is that correct?
Yes I do.
You do understand what a scam is, right?
I think so.
I would first like to clarify what a scam actually is. A scam is simply anything that makes money from you in a fraudulent way. But I like to use examples, so let me use some examples from real life. Let's talk about Fire Festival. Fire Festival was a musical festival held by Billy McFarland and Ja Rule in the Bahamas that promised luxury accommodations, the best food imaginable, and a wide variety of artists performing, such as Blink-182, Migos, Major Lazer, and many others. So what exactly happened? Well, these tents are what they classified as luxury accommodation, and they gave them packaged sandwiches for food, far from what was the initial promise. McFarland served 6 years in prison for fraud charges and was just released a few years ago. The gaming community has also had its fair share of scams, like CSGO Lotto. CSGO Lotto was a website run by two YouTubers who never disclosed they were in fact the owners of said website. They made a plethora of videos about the drops they were getting and how lucky they were with a large number of fans buying into the website. Little did those fans know that the odds were rigged in the owner's favor, and they scam many people out of their expensive items. Although the practices in Genshin seem fishy, I want to understand why so many, not just my interviewee, think Genshin's practices are scams. What exactly is present in HoYoverse games that you believe is a scam?
Well, there's the gacha mechanics. I spent $300 trying to get a character and didn't get it.
This actually brings up a good point. Can gacha mechanics in video games be considered a scam? In HoYoverse games, there's usually some type of currency, such as Fates in Genshin or Tapes in Zenless Zone Zero. You can earn this currency by doing quests, receiving it in your inbox, or by purchasing it with real money. You have the option to do single pulls or 10 pulls, which have no real difference in percentages of getting the character you actually want, despite what people say, although some games may actually differ. On each so-called banner, there are usually 2 5-star characters that you have a 0.6% chance to get. There's usually a pity system in play that will guarantee you a 5-star character, but there is no way to actually get the character you want. Along with this fact, you usually only have 2 to 3 weeks to get the character, and players are often trying their hardest to get the character they want. This triggers something in your head that tells you, I've gotta get this and there's no way I'm not gonna get it. It's simply the psychological effect of the fear of missing out. This is very dangerous because it encourages you to spend your hard-earned money to potentially get an item you want, or miss out entirely until a future date. What does that sound familiar to? Gambling. Gambling is when you put something of value on the line to win something. In this case, a character. So how has HoYoverse tiptoed its way around getting in trouble? Upon further research on my end, they haven't. They've gotten in a lot of trouble and recently had to pay the FCC $20 million, not allow children under 16 to buy gacha content, and will have to display the cost of pulling more effectively. Although this is still not controlling the problem with these games. To get the characters you want, it costs a crazy amount of money to be guaranteed. There are numerous cases where people have spent $100+ and not gotten the character they want. There's even a case where I saw someone spent their fiance's $600 emergency money to get one character in Genshin. That is absolutely absurd. All of these elements have combined to make a game that, albeit can be pretty fun, a massive temptation to spend money on gacha mechanics, all the while marketing to children and getting them on it too. That is the nature of predatory marketing, and you should be apprehensive about spending money on any of these games. Your testimony will be very helpful, Mr. Hawthorne. You can leave now.
Thank you.
This is a lot to think over. Hey boss, I think I've come to a conclusion regarding the case. After reviewing this case, I do not believe these games are a scam. However, I do stand firmly by the belief that you should be wary of these games' mechanics. These systems are predatory and target those who are easily overcome by the temptation to spend. I'm saying this as a victim of systems like these myself. I have at one point spent hundreds of dollars on Overwatch loot boxes. And I'm not saying to just not play these games at all. In fact, I do quite enjoy Zenless Zone Zero. You just need to be aware of these predatory business practices of companies like these. It's not just HoYoverse or gacha games. The entire gaming industry has been overrun by greedy microtransactions and practices. All the battle passes and the item shops in every game imaginable. Everyone is competing for your dollar. All this to say, be careful where you spend your money and what you spend your money on, and make sure you do not get caught in the trap of pulling for a character that you may not even get or you definitely do not need. I don't really want to end this video on a negative note, so I'll say that instead of buying pools, buy games that are worth your time. There's an overwhelming amount of good games out there, and make sure you just spend your money wisely and enjoy your money too. Detective Meraki clocking out, and normal me clocking in. Thank you so much for sticking around to the end of this video, and you should totally subscribe for more. I've never really made a video like this, and I wanted to try something a little different. I would like to give some special thanks to my wonderful girlfriend for helping me with this video. She made all the art and helped me with my idea, so you should totally check her stuff out. Her channel should be right here. I'd also like to thank one of my close friends for helping me refine this skit. He's a cool dude. Thank you for listening to me ramble and all. Remember, Jesus loves you, and God bless.